Hey everybody, it's Elijah from Gaia Designs, and today I just thought I'd do a little quick tutorial video showing a dead easy technique that you can use, assuming you have access to Photoshop, to basically make quick stencils like this one here, or quick little 3D models like this one here. Like I said, all of this can be done inside of Photoshop. You don't need to do any sort of 3D rendering at all. You can export them as STL files and then they're print ready. You can send them right to a 3D printer and they're done. So I'll just go ahead and open up Photoshop real quick and show you how to do that. So this is the image that we're using for those two that you saw previously. Not much else I have to really do to this before I start the 3D process. The only thing that I want to change is I'll go ahead and add this cross sort of chevron thing that I did here, basically so that all of these have connecting surfaces. Because it is a stencil, it's good to have, it's essential, I should say, to have all of the surfaces be interconnected. So we'll just go ahead and do that really quick. Just add an empty layer beneath there so we've got something to work with. And probably the easiest way to do that is we will have the fill as being black, and we'll just go ahead and create two little boxes. Yeah, pretty bad, there's fine. We'll just go ahead and make another one of those real quick. And we'll just use free transform and rotate it 90 degrees. So then we've got two there. We'll grab both of those layers and we'll just go up and rasterize them, merge them. And then we can just go ahead and delete the internals because we only really need these four little bits. But it's just an easy way to make a sort of perfect cross. And there we go, it's done. The next thing to do is really just to collapse all the layers. So we've got this empty layer here for the alpha channel and these three layers. So let's go ahead and merge them. That's done. Now we're pretty much ready. The last thing we need to do is get rid of all this red. We really just need the black because we want the red we want deleted. So we want that to be void space. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and probably the easiest way to do this I would say is select by color, I guess. Yeah, by color range. Then we can just use the droppy tool and it's selecting the sample color. Let's go okay. And we can delete it. And that's done. That's pretty much where we need to be. The negative space is deleted and the solid black is the, if you think about it, it's like the physical mesh that we're going to export. And then all we really need to do is go up to this 3D drop down menu here, make sure we've got the layer selected, we do, and go new 3D extrusion from selected layer. Going to take a sec. There we go. It's essentially done at this point. We're going to change a few of the settings really quickly. You can play around with all of these as you go along. Because we're basically printing out a stencil, it's way too thick here. So I'll just go ahead and drop this extrusion depth down to 1 centimeter. So that's more like it. You can go on to the sort of the last little tab here. And these are sort of the the dimensions, I should say, like all of the relative dimensions of the mesh. So this here is its location in physical space. So if you zero this, it's going to clip down into the ground because it's by render window. I'll show you what I mean by that. See, it's going down into the negative. We want it to be like basically halfway up. You can change all this later, but basically it's going to be half of whatever this is. These are the dimensions. You can go uniform scaling if you like to keep it sort of uniform. Let's go, what's a good one? Let's say 15, 16. Oh, you know what? We'll just keep it how it is. It doesn't really matter at this point. This is the rotation. You want to set these to 0. And that's pretty much done. There's a whole bunch of other settings you can look into if you like. You can change all like the bevel, like its width and angle, or the inflate and the strength. And also in here, there's the first tab. There's a whole bunch of presets that you can use if you like. We're not going to bother with that, but they're pretty cool actually. If you look at them all, they like do a whole bunch of cool stuff. Like yeah, it's this really nice sort of crazy bevelings to it, and then there's like softer gradients. You can see like a sort of a gradual gradient there, and then like a deep one. But yeah, for our stuff, we only need it to be basic. So we'll just keep it how it is. We'll set it to 1, and that's it. It's done. We pretty much just have to export this properly, and the way that we do that is by going up to the 3D tab again, and we'll hit this 3D print settings down the very bottom. how to bring up this printer sort of outset here. The way you want to save this as an STL is print to local. That just means print to local hard drive, basically, like print to my hard drive. Yeah, if that makes sense. Yeah, just keep the file as STL. You can change that, but for the sake of 3D printing, we're going to keep it as an STL file. You can change a whole bunch of the settings in here if you like. I'll set it to millimeters just because I prefer it. You can change all the detail inside of the slicer, so you don't have to worry about that. It's done. For the sake of doing this quickly, we'll just go ahead and go 3D print. This can take a little while. This shouldn't take too long though. It's pretty basic. No more than like 20 seconds, I'd say. Yep, it's done. So that's pretty much it. You can take a look at the model. That's how it's going to export. This represents the build volume of the printer, and this is the file. If you want to edit it further and you do have experience, you can bring it into Blender. But for the sake of just printing directly from Photoshop, you can just go export. We'll just put it on the desktop for now. We'll set it to, what is it called? I don't know. Stencil test. Oop. 1. And save it as an STL file. Correct. And it's done. So just to prove that it is working, we can just go to try and import it into Blender as an STL file, and it should be on this. What do we have? Stencil test 1. And there you go. And there it is. But yeah, you can don't need to open it in Blender. You can obviously edit it further this way, but you don't have to. If you want, you can just go straight and basically send it directly to your slicer software. For me, it's KeyDetect. It's really just a reskin of Cura, but whatever you use is fine. It should recognize it in STL. It's probably going to be a bit big. Yep. We can go ahead and scale that down. We'll zero out the location firstly, so it's center on the build volume. What else? Well, scale it right down. Say uniform scale down to about 25%. Then we need to rotate it so that it's flat, so 90 degrees. Oop, 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 too far. 90 degrees. That should snap to the bottom. It does. We'll keep the settings generally the same. We don't need to change any of this. I think it should print out okay. Yeah. Looking at it now, yeah, it looks fine. Probably a bit thick actually. We can go back to scale, turn off snap and uniform, and then drop this down to 1. There we go, that's thinner. That's better. We can quickly prepare that and see how long it's going to take. Don't think I need to change any settings. Oh, I'm going to crank the infill up to 100%. With something this thin, it'll be smart enough to realize that it will already be 100% infill, but it's good practice to make sure. Just crank it all the way up to 100% infill. Body blue. Yeah. Build temp's a bit low. Chuck that up to 200. What else? Yeah, that's all good. We'll click that off. It's not necessary. Yeah, that's fine. We'll just repair that out and it'll give us an idea of how long it's going to take. 25 minutes. Cool. And then you got your kind of material amount and weight there. And yeah, it's done. I'm going to go ahead and save this to file, and I'll do a quick jump cut here, and then yeah, I'll jump cut to the desk cam, and then you can take a look at the print when it's done. All right, see you in a sec. Bye. Well, okay, it came out pretty good considering. Yeah, it took about 29 minutes, lifted off beautifully. No real issues aside from this discoloration here, which I'm assuming is from the wood-based PLA I was using prior to this print. No fault of the print itself, but yeah, it came out really nice. You know, aside from the build time of about 5 minutes and the print time of 29, you know, it's a really quick and easy way to build out stencils and kind of basic models. The only thing I would say about this one that I would change if I was going to do it again would be to increase the volume here and here, because they're a bit too thin for a stencil. You want a bit more purchase there so the paint can get through to the surface. But aside from that, yeah, great, very happy with it. Yeah, not much else to say. It's a really quick and easy way to punch out unique designs, and sort of, yeah, a really kind of entry-level way of getting your own images to being print ready. So yeah, I'll just leave it there, and thank you for watching the video, and you have a great day. All right, bye.